Real quickly before we begin, I want to thank this video's sponsor, CarMarshal.com. CarMarshal.com can save you lots of money on buying used or new vehicles, cars, trucks, school buses. If you want to save money, I'll have a link in the description down below.
This interview is in reference to Internal Affairs case number 13-1. Today's date is January 25th, 2013. The time is now 11:27 a.m. This interview is with Detective Betina Sweede of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, assigned to Major Crimes Unit. Present for this interview is Sergeant Hurley T. Burnett, the officer in charge of the investigation in Internal Affairs. Also present is counsel for Detective Sweede, Scott Weinberg. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. This interview is taking place at 7474 Utilities Road, Punta Gorda, Florida, at the Internal Affairs Office. This case results from a complaint initiated by the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Focus of our interview will be related to violations of law under Charlotte County Sheriff's Office General Order 3.50 F4C1. Detective Sweede, I'm pronouncing that right?
It's Sweede.
Sweede, I'm sorry.
No problem.
Do you have access to a Sheriff's Office manual? Meaning?
I did when I had a computer, and I did ask Sergeant Sousa for a copy and did not get one after I was on leave.
A copy of what?
The manual.
Okay, but you have access to a manual if you need one right now. It's all on computer. We don't have a hard copy of the manual anymore.
It would be. Do you mean using your computer?
It'd be this thick. You have access to the manual if you need it.
If you allow me to, yes.
Okay. Well, I got stuff here.
Oh, okay.
All right. Detective Sweede, I wish to advise you that you are being questioned as part of an internal investigation of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. You will be asked questions specifically, directly, and narrowly related to the performance of your duties. You are entitled to all the rights and privileges guaranteed by the state of Florida and the Constitution of the United States, including the right not to be compelled to incriminate yourself and the right to have legal counsel present at each and every stage of this investigation. I further wish to advise you that if you refuse to testify or answer questions relating to the performance of your duties, you will be subject to office charges which could result in your dismissal from the Sheriff's Office. If you do answer, neither your statement nor any information or evidence which is gained by reason of such statements can be used against you in a criminal proceeding, with the exception of perjury or obstruction. However, these statements could be used against you in relation to office charges. This is what is known as the Gualtieri rule. Do you understand? Do you have any questions about the Gualtieri rule?
No, I have a question about the IA number. The paperwork that I have says
that was a typo on my part.
Okay, I just want to make sure there's not more than one.
No, that was my typo.
Okay.
Because Janet wasn't here. So, Detective Sweede, as a law enforcement officer in the state of Florida, I'm empowered to administer oath and take sworn testimony under Chapter 117.10 Florida State Statutes. So, will you please raise your right hand? Detective Sweede, do you solemnly swear that the testimony or statements you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Detective Sweede, do you know what the term perjury means?
Yes, sir.
Will you explain to me in your own words what perjury means?
Perjury can be committed two ways: by telling an outright lie or intentionally leaving out all or part of the truth in order to mislead or deceive you in an investigation. It's a crime in the state of Florida to do so, and if I'm found to have perjured myself while under oath in official proceeding, I can be charged under Florida state statute.
Thank you. Perjury as defined by Florida state statute. That was pretty good, by the way. A person commits perjury if in any official proceeding he or she makes a false statement under oath or equivalent affirmation, or swears or affirms the truth of a statement previously made when the statement is material and he or she does not believe it to be true. It also can arise from an omission of facts directly related to the truth of a statement or in an attempt to deceive another taking a statement. Please sign this form acknowledging that you have received the Gualtieri advisory and have been placed under oath. Do you understand that this is an internal affairs investigation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you understand that I am the officer in charge of this investigation?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the nature of the investigation?
Yes, sir.
Have you been told the name of the complainant?
You said the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, but I'm not sure who specifically.
That is a complainant.
Oh.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to review all written statements made by the complainant and witnesses prior to going on tape? When I say written, meaning we don't do written statements, but
The transcript.
transcribed statements.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions prior to starting the interview that are related to this charge?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Do you understand that by compelling you to talk during this interview does not give you the right to give false or misleading information, and doing so can make you face a criminal charge of perjury or obstruction?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please begin by stating your full name, rank, and present duty assignment.
Detective Betina Sweede, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Major Crimes Unit.
Okay. Did you attend a counseling session with your immediate supervisors, Sergeant Westlake and Corporal Doherty, on December 17, 2012?
I was asked to come into the office to speak to Westlake about the timesheet situation because he found out. Yes.
Did you record that meeting?
Yes, I did.
How did you record it?
On my cell phone.
Okay. Did you advise your supervisors prior to the meeting that it was your intent to record that meeting?
I did not verbally, however. Am I allowed to talk further?
Mm-hmm.
However, when I crossed the threshold and realized this was not going to be a good situation, I took a deep breath and I go, I need a minute. I stepped out of the door. Doherty was right behind me. I held up my phone and I hit voice record.
Did you advise your supervisors during the meeting that you were recording the meeting?
No, I did not publicly announce that I was doing it. However, Doherty was aware that the phone was...
Okay, so
And we spoke about it after.
you're testifying of something that he's already made a statement, okay? And you're testifying that something that he had knowledge of.
He, in his statement, he said he saw me fumbling with my phone,
Correct.
and it went like this because I was shaking.
Did you tell them that you were
I did not
recording?
verbally tell him. However, he did see me, most likely saw me push the record button, and he knew it. He definitely
He
knew
saw
after.
you messing with your phone.
If you would like to say that, yes.
Okay, but what you're testifying to me is that
He saw
you
me hit the record button.
He hit the record button.
He saw me, yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with Florida state statutes that under wire intercept law, meaning 934.03? Are you familiar
Yes,
with
sir.
that statute? Okay. All right. So I don't need to provide you with a copy of it. You know what it is.
I have one. I printed one off.
All right. So you know that the two consent rule applies, meaning you can't make a recording of any conversation with somebody unless they know they're being recorded, right?
And they, by not objecting when seeing it, as in rule of thumb for Miranda, right, they need to say unambiguously, I don't want to be recorded. If you see me hit a record button and you don't say, what are you doing? You don't say, stop it. You don't say, hey, Sergeant Westlake, it's recording. That is consent.
Okay.
In my interpretation.
Is that what you're saying?
In my interpretation, that's why I thought that was okay.
Okay.
Because we were getting ready to get what I believed was ambushed and confronted about the timesheet
Who's
question.
we?
Doherty and myself.
Okay. All right.
Because what I have, and I don't know if it's as current because we don't do the statute books anymore. We Google and do all that now. I have that it's lawful for an investigative or law enforcement officer or a person acting under the direction of an investigative or law enforcement officer to intercept a wire, oral, or electronic communication when such person is a party to the communication or one of the parties to the communication has given prior consent to such interception, and the purpose of the interception is to obtain evidence of a criminal act. And there is a criminal act.
Okay.
That's
Whose investigation? What investigation?
fraudulent timesheets, falsifying timesheets.
Whose investigation?
At the point mine.
Okay, under whose authority?
Under past experience.
You took it upon yourself to start a criminal investigation on another member of this sheriff's office.
Yes, sir, and I did it another day. Can I show you
Let
something?
me read something to you before you continue.
Okay.
Just so you understand clearly what policy says.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
And then we're gonna end that right there.
Okay.
All right, because this will be for another time, and we can
Okay.
discuss it later. But as far as focus of this and what you're being charged with here, all right. When a case indicates possible criminal action may result against a member, the sheriff will be advised immediately. Through the chain of command, the sheriff or designee will decide when the criminal investigation will commence and who will conduct it. We don't conduct pseudo investigations on other members of the sheriff's office. A criminal investigation against a member is guided by the standards and conduct of such criminal investigation. It will guarantee the due process of law from a member. Under 3.50, just so you know,
Okay.
reporting criminal and civil violations of law. Members will immediately report all criminal and civil violations of law to which or they or another member is involved, or any other action they may become involved in which may bring discredit to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Reporting should be made through the chain of command. If a member is reporting such violations involving their immediate supervisor, they will report the violations to a supervisor at the next highest level of chain of command. Meaning, we don't take it upon ourselves to do investigations of what we don't know to be a fact. The only person who can authorize an investigation on a member of this agency is the sheriff himself.
Through the chain of command, which is my chain of command, is a corporal above me.
You went in with written documentation and proof that a member of this agency.
No, I said this is a concern. She's off all the time. It affects us. How is she doing it? It was office talk. Every time those payroll things come out from Lori Brown.
So that's not an official investigation.
Well, give me 1 second, please.
Sure, go ahead.
So, the question is, how is she always off? How is she always off? When I saw the timesheet, when I saw the timesheet hanging,
Hey, listen to me.
that's evidence.
Listen to me. What we're talking about today under this investigation, so you're clear, meaning you,
Right.
Betina, and your counsel, is that we're focused on the violations of your actions of what you did.
Okay.
Not the actions of anybody else, okay? So the actions that we're talking about today, right here, I understand where you're coming from. Believe me, I do. Is that we're focusing on the recording, okay, of a meeting where two parties in that room did not know that they were being recorded and they did not give consent. That's the focus of this,
Okay.
and that's as far as where we're going to go.
Can I have a minute, real quick?
Absolutely. Okay. Now, listen, as far as that goes, just so you understand, we're on tape and everything.
Right.
If you need to step outside and go back into a meeting, the tape recorder does not stop.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
But this shows that prior annex that was accepted. It's okay when it suits them, but not.
Right.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. Is there any additional information that would be helpful to this investigation as far as the meeting that we're talking about? Is there anything that you feel is important that we have not asked you or that we have not covered?
Do you not feel the content of the recording is important at all?
Not in this particular situation. Not in this particular situation. Meaning what you've been cited with, why you're sitting here right now, is the fact, and like I said before, we're discussing right now, Betina, your action. And the action being is that you recorded a meeting without the consent of the other two people.
And I disagree with that.
Okay, that's your right.
I do disagree with that, and there was a crime being investigated.
Okay, if that's what you're going to say.
Definitely,
All right.
based on past experience of that being acceptable practice, and other investigations successfully happening because of it.
Okay. Is everything you've said been the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, but can I ask a question? Those were the only people that were interviewed.
Correct. Those were only three. There's only three of you in the room. You understand?
other
You understand
people
what
said-
you understand what the focus of this investigation
do.
was? Okay, so I hear what you're saying about all this other. Okay, that's for another time and another forum. But as far as this investigation goes, you've been cited with a violation of law, meaning you violated the to consent law as to you recorded a conversation or a closed meeting behind closed doors, okay? Not out in the middle of an open forum, say in the bullpen or that kind of thing.
Right.
That's the focus. And the only three people that were in that room were you, Sergeant Westlake, and Corporal Doherty. That's the focus. Like that,
Even
all
though
the
the
other
crime,
stuff,
even though the
you
crime,
keep saying crime.
right? Because that was me, and that was my intention there. So even though,
But you understand what I'm saying to you. You read policy. You cannot
Okay.
go and investigate a member of the sheriff's office on your own. Okay?
even though you tell the person in the chain of command above you, and they are gathering information to determine if it's something to even worry about. True story. That's what happened.
Okay.
That's what happened.
You read the statement.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you didn't ask him if he collected forms. You didn't ask him what he did.
Which he did what? What did he do?
I came to him with a concern, and basically, this is probably how it's happening. Okay.
Did you come to him in writing with documentation, or did you tell him when he questioned it just to forget it?
He said there are severe ramifications for this, whether you're right or you're wrong. Take time to think about it. So then I went and talked to Heather at HR.
So, okay. You went
Because I
you
didn't
went
know,
to
because
HR.
I figured that would force the hand.
Okay. All right. So you understand, and I hear what you're saying, but what we're talking about is the recording of a meeting without their consent. Correct? All right. This will conclude this statement. The date is January 25th, 2013. The time is now 11:44 a.m. I'm Sergeant Hurley T. Burnett of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Internal Affairs. Today's date is January 23rd, 2013. The time is now 9:08 a.m. I'll be taking a sworn statement from Lieutenant Michael Casarella. His address is 7474 Utilities Road, Punta Gorda, Florida. His phone number is 941-639-2101. Lieutenant Casarella is assigned to the Criminal Investigation Division under Major Crimes. This interview is being conducted at 7474 Utilities Road, Punta Gorda, Florida, in reference to Internal Affairs case number IA-13-1. This case results from a complaint made by the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Please state your full name and rank and current assignment.
Lieutenant Michael Casarella, Investigations Section Commander, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office.
Lieutenant Casarella, I'm going to ask you to read this confidentiality of internal affairs investigation form. And if you understand that, please sign it. Thank you. Do you understand by revealing information about this internal investigation, you may face office discipline up to and including withdrawal of employment?
I do.
Do you have any questions or comments about this form?
I do not.
Okay, Lieutenant Casarella is a law enforcement officer in the state of Florida. I'm empowered to administer oath and take sworn testimony pursuant to Florida Statute 117.10. Will you permit me to do so this time?
Yes, sir.
Please raise your right hand. Lieutenant Casarella, do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony, the statements you're about to give, with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Lieutenant Casarella, do you understand the term perjury means?
I do.
In your own words, can you tell me what perjury means?
Perjury is a lie or omission designed to mislead you in your investigation. It's a crime in the state of Florida. I can be charged should I be found to have knowingly lied to you in this statement.
That is correct. Perjury is defined in Florida state statute as a person commits perjury in any official proceeding that he or she makes a false statement under oath or equivalent affirmation, or swears or affirms the truth of a statement previously made when the statement is material and he or she does not believe it to be true. It also can arise from an omission of facts directly related to the truth of a statement or an attempt to deceive another taking the statement. I want you to know that perjury is a crime in the state of Florida, and you can be charged should I find that you knowingly lied to me in this statement. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
You understand the statement is being tape recorded, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What we'll be talking about here today is a situation with a subordinate of yours, Detective Betina Sweede.
Corte Sweede.
Okay. And she had an occasion to have a counseling session with Lieutenant Westlake and Corporal Doherty. And do you remember that counseling session?
I was not present for it, but I remember when it occurred.
Okay. She tape recorded that conversation. Okay. Did she make you aware of that?
She did, yes.
Okay. So why don't you, in your own words, just give me a brief rundown as far as how she brought this to your attention, any other situation that might have led up to why she was being counseled, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. I'll start with how it was initially brought to my attention. And it was the Friday that she returned from homicide school training. It was late in the day, probably close to 5 o'clock p.m. I was still in the office finishing up paperwork. Sergeant Sousa was still in there as well. She came to my office holding a piece of paper which turned out to be a printed version of the Epicor note that Sergeant Westlake, now Lieutenant Westlake, had put in her Epicor. She asked me if she could discuss it with me. I had Sergeant Sousa come into my office. We both sat down with Detective Sweede and discussed what her issue was. She basically said she did not agree with the note that was in her Epicor, and I asked her for specifics about what she didn't agree with. She never really provided me with any specific information about discrepancies that she noted in the Epicor note. I asked her for her version of the discrepancies in writing so I could evaluate it, and also asked Corporal Doherty for his. He wasn't present at the time. I called him after the meeting with Detective Corte Sweede and asked him for his so I could evaluate what he said as well, because Detective Corte Sweede indicated that she spoke to Corporal Doherty about it, and he stated that he didn't agree with certain parts of it as well. But she, again, couldn't provide me with any specifics about what he didn't agree with either. I wasn't prepared to discuss it any further with her at that point, because I wasn't going to go against what a sergeant was stating in the Epicor without having some basis of fact, without talking to all the parties involved and then making an informed decision. She then said to me, well, I recorded it. And I said, what? She said, I recorded that whole thing, the counseling session or the meeting with Westlake and Doherty. And I was in a little bit of disbelief. I told her that I wasn't happy about the fact that she did that she was going to have to live with the consequences of her actions in that regard. And I asked her for a copy of the recording. And she said that she would get it to me. And I told her I wanted to listen to it so I could, again, make an informed decision about whether or not there was basis for her complaint about the Epicor note. That's how I initially found out about the recording.
Okay. During this time when she came to you, did she say anything to you about her conducting any kind of criminal investigation into any wrongdoing by a coworker?
No.
Okay, so her complaint to you had nothing to do with anything other than she was upset about her Epicor notes in her evaluation?
Yes.
All right. Did you know or have any knowledge that she was conducting her own criminal investigation into possible falsifying a timesheet or whatever she was investigating for a coworker?
Absolutely not. And I didn't authorize any such investigation.
Okay. Do you know of Corporal Doherty? I know you don't want to speak for him, but do you have any knowledge that he might have known that she was conducting this investigation?
No.
Okay. She would have no reason to be conducting this investigation.
Absolutely not.
All right. Has she ever said anything to you about the possibility of any kind of criminal activity going on by any of her coworkers at all?
No.
Okay. Is there anything you wish to add, change, or delete from what you just told me?
No, sir.
Is there anything? Has everything you told me been the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything here that you feel that I have not asked you that might be pertinent to this investigation, or that would help me better understand why she would tape record this conversation?
I have no idea why she tape recorded the conversation. No, sir.
All right, well, this concludes this statement. The date is now still January 23rd, 2013. The time is now 9:17 a.m. I'm Sergeant Hurley T. Burnett of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Internal Affairs. Today's date is January the 17th, 2013. The time is now 9:48 a.m. I'll be taking a sworn statement from Sergeant Jason Doherty. His address is 7474 Utilities Road, Punta Gorda, Florida. His phone number is 941-628-2101. Sergeant Doherty is assigned to the Road Patrol Division. This interview is being conducted at 7474 Utilities Road, Punta Gorda, Florida, in reference to Internal Affairs case number IA-13-1. This case results from a complaint made by the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Have you read and signed the confidentiality of internal investigations form?
Yes, sir, I have.
Do you understand that by revealing information about the internal investigation you could face office discipline up to and including withdrawal of appointment?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions or comments about the form?
No, sir.
All right. Please state your full name, rank, and current assignment.
Jason Wayne Doherty. Current rank is sergeant, and my current assignment is road patrol supervisor.
Okay. Sergeant Doherty, as a law enforcement officer in the state of Florida, I'm empowered to administer oath and take sworn testimony pursuant to Florida State Statute 117.10. Will you permit me to do so at this time?
Yes, I will.
Please raise your right hand. Sergeant Doherty, do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony and statement you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Doherty, do you know what the term perjury means?
Yes, I do.
In your own words, can you tell me what perjury is?
It is lying under oath. And perjury can be committed in a couple different ways. The first way is by telling just a blatant outright lie, or the other way is by omission, which would be knowingly leaving out bits or part of the truth from an answer with the intent to deceive.
That is correct. Perjury, as defined in Florida state statute, is a person commits perjury if in any official proceeding he or she makes a false statement under oath or equivalent affirmation or swears or affirms the truth of a statement previously made when the statement is material and he or she does not believe it to be true. It also can arise from an omission of facts directly related to the truth of the statement or in an attempt to deceive another taking the statement. I want you to know that perjury is a crime in the state of Florida, and you can be charged if I find that you knowingly lied to me in the statement. Do you understand?
Yes.
You understand the statement is being tape recorded, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sergeant Doherty, let's see. We've already stated your names and everything. On or about December 18th, what was your rank and assignment?
I was the corporal of the Major Crimes Unit.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
What I just did with this, I don't know. Okay. Pardon me. Misplaced something here. Is or was DSC Sweede a subordinate in your command?
Indirectly. The way the structure was arranged in the Major Crimes Unit at that time. And by the way, the actual date I believe that this all occurred would have been the 17th. I had actually researched it prior to coming in here, and I believe that it was actually on the 17th.
Okay.
But the way that the Major Crimes Unit was set up, there are two corporals inside the unit. They each have subordinates underneath them. Corporal Jack Collins was actually Detective Cortez Swede's supervisor. Although I was a corporal in the unit, I was not her direct supervisor.
But she was a subordinate of yours?
Yes, indirectly.
Okay. Did you hold a personal counseling session with DSC Sweede on the 17th?
I was present for one, yes.
Okay. All right. Who was present at that meeting?
It was Sergeant, at the time, Sergeant John Westlake, myself, and Detective Cortez Sweede.
Where did this occur?
In Sergeant Westlake's office inside the Major Crimes Unit.
Did DSC Sweede advise that she was recording the meeting?
No, she did not.
Were you aware that you were being recorded?
Prior to us going inside of the office, I had asked her that I needed to speak with her. She had been working night shift on that particular day. A discussion had come up about addressing certain issues with her between Lieutenant Casarella, Sergeant Westlake, Corporal Collins, and myself. Sergeant Westlake was going to address it with her and needed a corporal to also assist. Since I was the one she had brought other concerns regarding the unit to, they had asked me to sit in on the meeting. Sergeant Westlake had gone to his office to await us. She had just come in. It was around 3:30. That's what time she had arrived for duty. I had gone to her and asked her to come to Sergeant Westlake's office. She had not wanted to go in the office directly and made comments to the effect of, "I'm not getting railroaded or screwed," or something to that effect. I explained to her that we just wanted to talk to her. She was fumbling with her phone, but I didn't know what she was doing with it. She then put it either in her pocket or a jacket or something and then went inside. So I knew she was messing with her phone for some reason, but I didn't know I was being recorded or that she was recording the conversation.
Okay, so the answer would be no.
No, but I did want to explain that I did see her messing with her phone doing something. I didn't know what she was doing though.
Okay. Was the door to Sergeant Westlake's office open or closed?
Closed.
Was your counseling session being conducted in openness where others, people outside that office would be able to hear the conversation?
With the tone that was used, bits of it became heated, and if someone was standing directly outside the door, they may have heard bits and pieces, but for the normal conversation, no.
Okay. The door's closed, so it was a private meeting.
It was a private meeting, yes.
Okay. It wasn't being conducted out in an open forum.
No.
Is there anything you wish to add, change, or delete from what you just told me?
No, sir.
Is everything you told me been the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
This will conclude this statement. The date is still January 17th, 2013. The time is now 9:56 a.m. I am Sergeant Hurley T. Burnett of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Internal Affairs. Today's date is January 17, 2013. The time is now 4:25 p.m. I'll be taking a sworn statement from Lieutenant John Westlake. His address is 7474 Utilities Road, Punta Gorda, Florida. His phone number is 941-639-2101. Lieutenant Westlake is assigned to Road Patrol Division. This interview is being conducted at 328 Tamiami Trail, Port Charlotte, Florida, at the District 4 building, in reference to Internal Affairs case number IA 13-1. This case results from a complaint made by the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Lieutenant Westlake, have you read and signed the confidentiality of Internal Affairs investigation form?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that by revealing information about an internal investigation, you may face office discipline up to and including withdrawal of appointment?
I do.
Do you have any questions or comments about this form?
No, sir.
Please state your full name, rank, and current assignment.
John P. Westlake, Lieutenant, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, Watch Commander.
Lieutenant Westlake, as a law enforcement officer in the state of Florida, I'm empowered to administer oath and take sworn testimony pursuant to Florida State Statute 117.1.0. Will you permit me to do so at this time?
I do.
Please raise your right hand. Lieutenant Westlake, do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony and statement you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Lieutenant Westlake, do you know what the term perjury means?
I do.
In your own words, can you explain perjury?
It means not telling the truth while under oath, leaving information that might hamper your investigation, and telling half-lies and half-truths, that type of thing.
That is correct. Perjury, as defined in Florida State Statute, is a person commits perjury in any official proceeding he or she makes a false statement under oath or equivalent affirmation, or swears or affirms the truth of the statement previously made when the statement is material and he or she does not believe it to be true. It also can arise from the omission of facts directly related to the truth of a statement or an attempt to deceive another taking the statement. I want you to know that the perjury is a crime in the state of Florida, and you could be charged should I find that you knowingly lied in the statement. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand the statement is being tape recorded? Is that correct?
I do.
Okay. This internal investigation is in reference to a counseling session that was held between yourself, Corporal Jason Doherty, and Detective Betina Sweede in the Major Crimes Unit. This counseling session was reported in an interoffice memorandum as of occurring on December 18th, 2012, but I later discovered it was actually, I believe, I had been told that it was on December 17th, 2012. Do you recall this counseling session?
I do.
Okay. On December 17th, what was your rank and assignment?
I was a sergeant in the Major Crimes Unit.
Was DSC Sweede a subordinate under your command?
Yes, she was. She was at the time, yes.
Did you hold a personal counseling session with DFE Sweede on the date of December 17, 2012?
Yes, I did.
Who was present?
Corporal Doherty.
Where did this occur?
This occurred in my office in the Major Crimes Unit, 7474 Utilities Road, Punta Gorda, Florida.
Did DSC Sweede advise you that she was recording this meeting?
No.
Were you aware that you were being recorded?
No.
Was the door to your office where this meeting was occurred open or closed?
It was closed.
Was your counseling session open where others outside the room could hear this conversation in a normal tone like we're talking now? Was it presented in an open form?
No, it was closed. It was for us only.
It was, so the meeting, the counseling forum, was behind closed doors and was only meant to be a private affair between you, Corporal Doherty, and Detective Sweede.
That is correct.
Okay. Is there anything you wish to add, change, or delete from what you just told me?
No,
Has everything you told me been the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
it has.
This will conclude this statement. The date is January 17th, 2013. The time is now 4:30. p.m.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use. And also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.